Welcome back to the seventh video. In this video, we are going to talk about the chains, and we will talk about first. We will talk about some theory, and then we will see a basic example. So let's start. So, what are the chains in the LangChain? So basically, the LangChains are the sequence of the steps that work together to complete a task. So you have a task and then you have a multiple steps and together they will make a chain. So I'm going to show you a very basic example. So let's say you want to build a chatbot that answer a question about a book. So the chain might look like the user will say what is the theme of the book name. The step one would be the look up the information about the book. The second step could be process in the theme from the information. And the last would be to represent the output in a particular way. So that's how the chain look like. It's like you got the input, you will do step-by-step processing on it, and then you will represent the output. And in so far, the example we have been seen in the like how the we are using the chat model and prompt. So that's how the usually the normal chain process look like. Like you have a prompt and you get the input in the prompt, you generate a prompt, then you pass the to the model, and from model you get the result. And generally in all of these, we are just calling the invoke method. So when in the next video, I'm gonna also take a deeper dive into into these components, prompt, models, and the results. But for now, let's say I'm gonna explain how the invoke model work. So, but for now, let's focus on the basics. So usually when you call the chain, this is how the chains look like. You will pass the prompt, you will use this pipe uh, operation, and then you will pass the model, and that's how you will chain the different components together. And this narration of using a pipe with a multiple component, it's called LangChain expression language. So there are multiple. So you can use the chain for a very basic problem like this one, where you are just creating a prompt and calling a model. But you can also use a chain for a complex task, like you have a task where you want to run something in parallel, and then you want to combine the output of those parallel tasks into one output. So you can do that. You can also create that sort of chains. You can also create like a long chain with multiple steps, could be like hundreds, thousand. You can also do that. And you can also do a branching in the chain. So branching is more like, let's say you got some input on the point one, and on the point two, based on some value, you will choose the branch. Let's say you are eating some food and you are choosing the cuisine. You choose the cuisine of Chinese, and Chinese mean that you are choosing this branch, so only this branch will get executed. And if you are choosing Indian, that means this branch, so this branch will get executed. So that's what the branching means, and that's how the branching works. It's very useful, and we will see in the next example how we are going to use branching and parallel to process things, and we will also see the code example of those chains. So that's about the theory. Now I'm gonna jump into the coding part. So this was the example we worked in the last video of the prompt template. So I'm gonna just rewrite the same example using the chains. So I have created this new file and I just copy pasted the old code. So what I'm gonna do is that first thing I'm gonna copy paste is this. I'm gonna paste this one here. So basically, this is the parser, and what does the parser do is that I'm going to explain the parsers later, but in a quick nutshell, in a quick overview, this particular parser, it does this, like instead of it take the response as an input and it output the response content field. So that what this one is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a chain here, and how will the chain will look like? Okay, I am going to comment this one out, and I'm going to say chain. Chain is equal to, my first thing was, actually, I'm also going to comment this one out. Okay, so first thing I have is the prompt template. So I'm going to say my first component is this one, then the pipe operator, then I will pass the model. So and then the last thing is then again pipe operator, and the last thing is going to be this parser, because I want my output, I want only the content part out of the model response. So And I will pass the object of this one, and how I will invoke this. I will say chain dot, and I'm gonna copy this input from here. I'm gonna invoke this to this one, and I am gonna say response is equal to chain invoke, and I'm gonna print the uh, response here. Okay, just focus here. I'm just printing the response. I'm not printing the response dot content. I'm not going to a content field. I'm just printing the response itself because this will take care of the content. So let's run it and then I will explain it a little bit. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to the sixth. Actually, this one is actually I have to rename it too. This is seventh, and this one is okay. I'm gonna say this one is seven. I'm gonna do this and run this. Let's wait for a minute. Yeah, so this is our output. You see, we are getting the exactly same output here. Uh, actually run it again. I will add a field here. I'm gonna run this again and let's wait for a minute. Okay, so yeah, so here I'm running my code and I'm getting the exactly pretty much same code here, response here. You can see, and this is called the exactly the LangChain expression language. So I'm gonna in the next video I will explain how does this work in the behind the scene. But this is the basic example for now. And you can basically do one thing. You can, if you remove this and you will change it to like, you will always give answer in one line, just so that I'm putting this one line here so that we can easily understand the difference. And I'm going to remove this part from here. I'm going to run this again and see now when I remove that parser from the end, I'm getting the complete output. I'm not only this is my content part, but now I'm getting all the extra data as well. So I'm gonna put it back. So that's how the chains work in a very basic example. So in the next video, we will see how does the chain work behind the scene. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys.